guys like my Sonic slippers? Pretty rad. What's up, you guys? Gemma here, and back again for another video. Today we're going to be taking a look at my top 5 announcements from E3. Little bits of E3 are still going on, but nonetheless the main bulk of the games have been announced, and we're all super excited for the remainder of this year, and especially 2019, when some of the most amazing PlayStation 4 games are going to be landing on our PlayStation 4 consoles. Thought I'd do this one slightly different, so we're going to actually look at some of the kind of gameplay that was shown and do a little bit of voiceover for you good people, so I hope you stay till the end. But if you are new here, I want to thank you very much, and I want to ask you good people to make sure you make sure you guys hit that subscribe button and share and whatever else you guys want to do. If you don't, then whatever, it is what it is. But we ain't going to waste any more time. Thanks, Liv. Here we go, guys. Here are my top 5 E3 of 2018 announcements, and there were plenty. We might have an honourable mentions. I'll pin my first comment with some honourable mentions. Let's take a look. Forget the pinned comment, here are some honourable mentions just before we dive into my top 5. What with Assassin's Creed and many more games such as Kingdom Hearts. Now guys, I loved this year's E3. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below, and I want to know what your top 5 games of E3 2018 are. Make sure you hit me up in the comments, and if you don't want to hit me up in the comments, make sure you tag me on social media, because I want to know exactly what you guys are thinking as well. Now unfortunately, these games didn't make my top 5, and I don't want to offend anybody because these are my opinions and mine alone. So the first game that absolutely knocked my socks off was Cyberpunk 2077, the new game from CD Projekt Red, the exact same team that were behind the amazingly popular Witcher 3. Now what I really loved about this was the colour palette. I love this kind of artwork, I love the era, I love the fact that it draws from many classic films that I just love, such as Mad Max, such as Ghost in the Shell. You know, there's a load of cool stuff in here, and I forgot to mention Blade Runner, of course, because it certainly has that ethos about it as well. Now unfortunately there was no gameplay demo in this, but nonetheless I've seen people getting kind of the reactions from playing this down at E3, and people are saying that this is going to be a masterpiece, so I'm super excited to hear more about this. I think they're a great development team. They did a great job on Witcher 3, and it still carries a fantastic fan base to this day. In fact, me myself, I'm going to start it again and just warm myself up for the glorious Cyberpunk 2077. Whenever it drops, guys, I'm there. If you guys are like me, then you would have grown up on the PlayStation 1, and you'll know a little game called Crash Bandicoot, developed by the amazing Naughty Dog. And over the years, on this generation and the last, they have given us some remarkable games, some fantastic, heavily story-based games such as Uncharted and such as The Last of Us on the PlayStation 3, and of late recently ported across to the PlayStation 4. And we were treated with an absolute delight down at E3 in 2018 with some gameplay seen here in the trailer. Now it just looks phenomenal. There's nothing I can say. I cannot put any glossy words on this. I can't jazz up my paragraphs here when I speak. This game looks effing gorgeous. The stealth looks phenomenal. They haven't really deviated from the mysticism of the first game, what with the kind of crawling around like this, the sneaking, the dodging of enemies, the jumping out, killing, silent kills, you name it guys. This really has stayed very close to the first game, and if you haven't played it, or if you're watching this from the Xbox camp, that's absolutely fine, because you guys have time to catch up on the first experience. There's also a really nice DLC pack that came out as well, and if you buy it on the PlayStation 4, the DLC pack is bundled in, so you really do have to go and play it. I think you definitely need to play it before you're going into this, because I did watch a developers panel, and it does follow on heavily from the first. I think the director himself said that Naughty Dog and the specific team behind The Last of Us Part 2 were masters. They wanted to just tell such a deep and intrinsic story. And what's beautiful about this game is that they've introduced a lot of new characters, which is going to add a lot of different questions and a lot of different layers to the story that's about to unfold. Now unfortunately, deeply unfortunately, we didn't get a release date. As of yet, we do not know when this PlayStation 4 masterpiece is going to be out, but I say this,
I'm not too fussed. I would rather them take their time. I would rather them, I would be happy if it was next year, providing we continue to get some reasonable updates. From what I've heard, all of the acting, all of the kind of capturing, everything is now finished. I'm not quite sure what stage of development The Last of Us Part 2 is at, but nonetheless, guys, this trailer, these parts, the trailer looks absolutely phenomenal, and I dare say we may be shedding quite a few tears in this game. There's been a lot of speculation as to what the story is going to hold, as to what's going to happen to the characters. Will Ellie die? Will Ellie survive? Will Joel die? Will Joel survive? Who knows? There are a lot of unanswered questions, and I'm sure we're going to get them in The Last of Us Part 2. Guys, let me know what you think in the comment section below. This is awesome. Now, this next game is arguably my wildcard game in this video, as it's clearly not a AAA title. That is right. It is Tunic, and I saw this during the Xbox presentation with my friend Merlin, and both of us agreed that we were reasonably surprised and really wanted to know more about this game. It reminds me of a certain game back on the Super Nintendo with a boy dressed in green searching for a master sword in a forest. Of course, that's a ridiculous explanation / description. We all know I'm talking about Link to the Past. Now, it is hard not to see the comparisons right here. What with a mystical world, random doors to go through, various objects to break, grass to slice through, things to find. I mean, it looks absolutely gorgeous, and I'm definitely willing to give this a go. And for me, out of the entire Microsoft show, this is what stood out to me the most. And like I said in the introduction, I apologise to you good people if you do not agree. We cannot agree on everything, but Tunic for me really did look nice, and I'm all up for supporting smaller development teams. So if you've seen this, if you were lucky enough to kind of grab this live, what did you guys think to it? I love the way as well how you kind of collect the weapons and they're just sat nicely right up in the corner, so you can kind of just switch between the stick, the sword, you know, you've got different shields. It really is Link to the Past with a fox on the Xbox. I love it, and I'm really looking forward to playing it. Next up then is Days Gone by Bend Studio, and from what I've seen of this alpha footage so far, I think we're in for some fantastic gameplay combined with some really nice fluid storytelling. The characters definitely intrigue me the most over anything. I mean, don't get me wrong, I think the graphics in Days Gone looked absolutely flawless again. But even if the graphics were like 50% what they were in this gameplay, I think this game would still be really, really good, because I think the story is really going to pull this game. And I'm super intrigued with the world. It's kind of like there seems to be a trend in post-apocalyptic games these days. I mean, you take State of Decay for example, which doesn't necessarily have a story and has completely shit graphics if you play in on anything but an X, but the gameplay is really solid, the mechanics are really, really solid, which makes for a fantastically enjoyable experience. And I do oddly see a lot of State of Decay in this. Now, yes, a lot of these games that I'm showing are PlayStation 4 exclusives, but nonetheless, I don't think that matters. You guys know that I'm a Sony girl, and I wanted a little bit more from Microsoft, but on the whole I was very, very satisfied. But back to this game in question. Now, what I loved about this gameplay was they showed a really nice balance of combat versus just kind of roaming around the world, you know, scavenging for items. There's a lot of gameplay where they show you out on the actual bike. They wanted to place a lot of emphasis with the, you know, being on the bike and kind of riding through the world, and I think it looks awesome. I'm eager to know kind of like what if any of the factions are. The main character, the protagonist, really intrigues me, and I think they showed just a really great world that I just love. I love Walking Dead, I love this kind of game, and I'm super stoked. So it's got to be on the list, man. Days Gone. Let me know if it's a console sell for PlayStation 4. If not, that is absolutely cool. Don't forget to let me know your top 5 in the comments. We, the gamers, have been asking for this remake for a while now, and it has come as no surprise to say that we all lost our shit a little bit when Capcom announced that Resident Evil 2 was dropping on PlayStation 4, Xbox One and PC in January of 2019. As bleak of a month as that can be, I personally feel that this January is going to be pretty darn fine because I will be streaming this, and I am freaking elated that another game from my childhood or from the classic PlayStation 1 is going to be available for me to play on some gorgeous this generation consoles, guys. Like, seriously, my excitement, I hope it's showing in the tone of my voice. Now we've all, well, I hope we've all played Resident Evil 2, set in Raccoon City, and a lot of people really prefer this over the first. For me, what it did is it opened up the Resident Evil world. I felt sick and tired of being in that claustrophobic mansion and in the claustrophobic gardens of the mansion. It was actually nice to step out into the zombie-ridden, hellish, blood-stained streets of Raccoon City, and I think it's going to look absolutely stunning. It's just going to look stunning. Like, it already does look stunning. Now, yeah, the graphics aren't as roasty and as crisp as, you know, something like Days Gone or Metro, but nonetheless this looks absolutely wicked. I don't have any complaints. I think the voice acting seemed on point. I think the zombies looked exactly the way they're supposed to be. A little bit cheesy, a little bit corny, not necessarily scary, but I mean just this scene right here, just the whole kind of shuffle, it mimics exactly the same shuffle as what we had on the PlayStation 1, and I am ecstatic. But my question to you, good people, is how do you feel about the Resident Evil 2 remake? Is it a game that is it a game that you wanted? Is it a game that you would have rather just kind of kept back on the 32-bit console on the PlayStation 1, those nasty 32-bit blocky polygon style graphics? Let me know in the comment section below. I'm so stoked for this. I'm seriously looking forward to what happens with the Resident Evil franchise in the future, because I don't think we've seen the last of new Resident Evil games. Resident Evil 7 was one of the best games of 2017. It really, you know, it kind of changed the whole direction of the franchise. It brought about brand new monsters, brand new characters, a brand new tone, and it just rejuvenated the horror series, I think, where it's tended to dry up a little bit. And I don't necessarily find Resident Evil 2, in fact, I don't necessarily find the first trilogy of Resident Evil overly scary, but they're classic games, and I'm super stoked to have this on the list. So guys, we are in the closing segments of this video, and I just want to thank you guys very much for watching. I hope you really enjoyed E3 this year. It's been the best year for me since 2015, so that is totally awesome, and I'm looking forward to seeing what's coming. But for now, guys, I hope you're having a beautiful day. I will be back streaming this weekend, so make sure you guys hit that subscribe button, ding dong that bell, and give this video a share. My name is Gemma. Take care. See you soon.